So I want to quickly break down how to get tens of thousands of leads for an AI agency. Like this is literally a list of 10,000 roofing companies in the US. And just a little bit more context here, I sell ads and AI to local businesses. Most of my clients pay from around 2 to 4K a month. So you literally need one client to pay like 2 to 4K a month, depending on what service you sell. Obviously, if you sell like websites or chat widgets or custom AI solutions or one-time projects. Luckily, mine's pretty scalable because I sell, AI and ad management, which is like the whole sweep, a whole marketing campaign for them, lead follow-up and back-end appointment setting and all this stuff done with AI so they can actually get more of the outcome, which is the only thing that really matters, so I can make recurring revenue. But if you want to get 10,000 plus leads or just a ton of leads for whatever niche that you're in, I'll show you how. All that needs to happen is they need to be listed somewhere online, obviously, to be able to reach them, as well as their contact information. And you can basically scrape them and reach out to tens of thousands. And what's good about this is, one, you can reach out to them in any way that you want. So if you want to do cold SMS, cold calling. There's ways to get their emails as well, cold email. Or really any just like retargeting lists for ads, like whatever it is. Like you can basically reach out to these guys in any way that you see fit once you have all of their information. So that is the value of this. Obviously, I've done cold SMS. And what's cool about this as well is that like with outreach, right? If you're doing like 300 to 500-ish outbound messages a day, which is likely enough to get your outcome. I mean, that's what it took me to get to like 10K a month-ish after like 3 months. So if you're doing that, what's good about this is that every like 3 to 6 months or so often, like you can reuse these same leads and just change up the positioning of like how you actually approach contacting them. Right? So whether you do that with like a cold SMS message or cold calling or whatever it is, like you can simply just change your messaging up and squeeze as much as you can to get out of, a one giant lead list like this and get as many clients as possible. Now, I actually don't know off the top of my head how many of these leads right now are current clients of mine, but I'm willing to bet over the last 2 years of reaching out to this consistent lead list of 10,000 plus roofers over and over again, a lot of them have become my clients, like more than 20 or 30 of them. So let's go through how to get leads. I'm going to show you like 4 or 5 methods. As soon as you find one that you think you can use, and I'm going to start with the best ones first, click off this video and go get leads. I just want to provide as much value as I possibly can here. So method number 1 is Fiverr. So if your company that you want to reach out to is on Google Maps, so like let's say you want roofing contractors or something in the USA, like roofing contractors will, like they're on here, right? They're on Google Maps and you can basically like see locations, you can get their information, you can get their business website, you can get their, booking links and their numbers and all this stuff, right? So that's the first criteria for this. And what's cool about this is if you go to Fiverr, for example, and this is what I've done to get 10,000 plus leads, and you basically look for a lead scraper, Google Map lead scraper, you can quite literally find someone to scrape leads for you, to scrape thousands of leads, 2,000 leads for $5. That's insane. Okay, so there's these guys that have these giant lead lists, and you can basically buy lists of certain kinds of businesses for like $5 for like 2,000, as well as emails, right? So this is like the best possible way, in my opinion. And all you have to do is just choose your specific niche. This is why it's good to have a set niche. And then you can basically just reach out to one of these guys and then just explain like what kind of business you want, your criteria. And more often than not, they will give you the entire US or whatever country you're targeting's worth of leads. So that is by far the most expensive but best way. I mean, you can get anywhere between 1,000 and 20,000 leads for like $5 to $100. Like it's absolutely nuts. So that right there is literally all you need. I hit 10K a month off of this lead list alone, obviously. So this one lead list cost me like $50 to $100. Oh, they're my client right here. I see one of my clients on here. But yeah, the point is like it's crazy what you can do. If you just choose a specific niche and then you basically just reach out to all of them by getting one of these master lead lists, because the truth is the market's huge, right? If you only need like 3 clients to hit your goal, or even 4 clients, especially if you offer what I offer, which by the way, I have like a full 10-hour free course in the description, so you can see what I offer, how that works and all that. But if you offer services that are like 3 to 4K a month per client, all you need is like 3 to 4 to hit 10K a month. So it's like not that much, but that's method 1. So go to Fiverr, create an account, Google Map leads, choose your niche, and there you go. You got it. Also, this resource will be in the description as well. So if you want to see, there's actual video walkthroughs of all these other specific methods. Option number 2 is to use make.com and Apify. This is like a little AI made way. Obviously, after you guys saw method 1, everything else looks completely pointless because it honestly is once you can get 10,000 leads in like 10 seconds. And you're probably like, oh, well, if everyone has the same leads, then what the hell is going to happen? You're not going to like have exclusive leads. But the truth is that like it doesn't matter about who the companies are because the companies are the companies regardless. It's about how you actually approach reaching out to them, right? That is the only thing that matters and the only thing that will differentiate you from the other companies that are offering similar services to you. So I go through and break down exactly how this can work and how to set up these this way of generating leads. So we're going to go and walk through that now. I'll play this video for you right now and go ahead and walk through that. The next one is make.com and Apify. So this is a really good method to scrape Google Map leads. So it uses make.com and Apify. You know, we will use make.com in the future, so it's a good idea to get it now. You might as well. So go ahead and use this link right here to go ahead and sign up with both of these links. And once you do that, I just want to let you guys know that this method doesn't format that well. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you import a list of leads. What's going to happen is it's going to import those leads because it creates new rows automatically at the bottom. Okay, so leads are going to show up down here. So unless you go ahead and go through this process and just go ahead and delete, you know, every single row, or just, you know, do it to like have it imported to like a blank empty sheet and then copy and paste in here. Either way works. But otherwise, if you just import them directly into here, then they will show up at the bottom. So just keep that in mind. But to set this up, here's what we want to do. Go to make.com. Go ahead and create a new scenario. Okay, once you go ahead and create a new scenario, select the 3 dots at the bottom and import a blueprint. Okay, the blueprint you want to import is this file right here. So download this just by going here and pressing download. Okay, and now we want to import that into the make.com scenario. All right, so now that you've imported it, it should look like this. So here's what you want to do now. Now that we're in here, we just continue following the instructions, change your niche. So simply just change your niche right here. So for example, mine was like roofing contractors. Let's try that. Okay, now that that's done, change the location. Like let's say I do, I don't know, Michigan, US. Okay, I recommend doing it in this format. And now the next step is to go to Apify. Go to console. And what we want to do is click this and go ahead and add your account. So adding your account is super, super easy. It should allow you to connect an API key. So to do that simple API key, all you want to do is go to your settings and then API and integration, and simply just copy and paste this into here. And then once you do that, you can choose your account. Okay, it should already be set up. You just press OK. Same with here. Similar. Okay. So now what we want to do is actually delete this module and run it. Okay. So press run once. It should go through and do this all correctly once you have the API keys connected. So now I believe we are on here. So let's just let this finish. Okay, all done. So now that you've done that, add another module that's a Google Sheet and add a row. Okay, and now you want to go ahead and search by path. That's pretty easy. And in your drive, just go to where you have this master lead list. So remember, you can either do a random sheet, import them all at once and make it empty, and then copy and paste them in if you want to keep like the cool formatting, or you can just keep it here and then they will be at the bottom. So just for the sake of this video, I'm going to keep it in here. So let me show you that. So I'm going to go ahead and add the path to this. Just like so, you want to add the path to the master lead list. Okay, once that's in here, you choose the sheet name. So
Like in the location, I said Michigan. So in the sheet name, choose Michigan or whichever state you chose. And then the table contains headers. So you want to go ahead now and add the values. Because we went through the process already of running it, we already have the values. So go ahead and select the website link. Now, remember, some of these might not have a website, and for now, you can just pretty much put the Google Map link because the website doesn't matter too much. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. The company name is the title. And remember, you don't need to, touch this really. The phone number. So typically the phone number would be right here, but there's no phone listed right now. So just put phone. And then I'm assuming there's no email listed either. No worries or any of this. So go ahead and press OK. And now you're all done with this. So you can pretty much run this every 15 minutes, or you can run it every, second if you want. But what you want to do is just run it all the time, right? Because this will work in the background. So here's what I mean. Like, let's run it once just to give you guys an example. But real quick as well, we want to make sure that we go ahead and save it. So save this scenario and then go ahead and press run just to test it out. So it's going to run now, and we'll see what I mean by it will import the data towards the bottom unless you delete all the rows. So what I actually recommend doing is just creating a separate sheet. You can always look up sheet.new in the tab here and create a new sheet, and then just have this import to that sheet and then just copy and paste and reformat it. But let's see if it works. So it should be in Michigan now. Also, I didn't mention, but to connect this to Google Sheets, you have to connect it to your Google account too. But super simple. Michigan. Okay, so we should see no leads here because it adds a row. And let's see if there's ones at the bottom. Yep. So just like that, you can get thousands of leads. Okay, there's another option that has them actually have the website instead of like the Google Map search, which I recommend doing. I just didn't click on it. And then you can just reformat them if you want, and just simply just copy, remove them, throw them at the top there, and you can just get infinite leads like that. Okay, so that is this method. You can, like I said, either make another sheet, copy and paste it, or scroll to the bottom, paste to the top.
Okay, so that is the method 2. The method 3, the third one that I've got for you. Obviously, I have the instructions here in the description, so you can check out this resource to get leads. Method number 3 is the BBB code scraper. This one brings me a lot of nostalgia because this is what I did in the beginning, before I knew about the Fiverr method and all this stuff to get leads. This is exactly what I did. I used BBB. I would scrape all of my leads from the Better Business Bureau, and I would use either the code method or the instant scraper method right now. Now, I'm going to quickly break down the instant scraper method because I think that's a little bit more valuable, because what's good about this is that you can get owners' names, right? If you can, and you can even automate this too with Mergal, which is something that I've used in the past as well. So I'll break that down in a second. But just so you can see here, I've deleted most of the owners' names because I actually don't need them. But what happens is you can actually get the owners' names and auto import them with using that automation. And then by using the actual lead list that I provided you in this video, what you can do is auto format those full names. And it looks like I've got some, a couple hundred, roofing companies in here, remodeling companies are in here, whatever, and reformat that name right here. So then you can import it into whatever software that you're using to reach out to them, which obviously I would recommend GoHighLevel, like I mentioned in the 10-hour course in the description. So yeah, let's go ahead and break down the instant scraper method, which is with BBB. And this will also explain how to get owners' names as well. So I will go ahead and play these now so you can go ahead and understand this walkthrough. But once again, this is in the description, so you can use this resource below and use it. But this is exactly how to get owners' names and how to scrape leads on BBB. And then finally, I will also play for you the BBB code scraper method. This will work to get a couple hundred leads every 5 minutes. But honestly, buying your leads off of a list like Fiverr is by far the most straightforward way to do so. At the end of the day, the differentiating factors between whether or not you succeed given a certain amount of leads that you have is just based how you position yourself to them, how you reach out to them, how you make sure you stay outcome driven, the services that you actually provide to them, and more importantly, your product. Those are the most important things. The businesses will always be the businesses. Yes, there'll be newer businesses, but these guys will get them for you, right? So it's all about how you go about reaching out to them and how you find a system to basically scale that system, right? So you have a system that brings you a reasonable amount of booked appointments so you can actually sell your services and get on sales calls. And then more importantly, finding a system that's in KPI so then you can actually scale it and just increase the volume that you do. And before you know it, you have 10 to 12 booked appointments a day. You're finally selling to tons of these guys, tons of these business owners, signing a bunch of clients, and ultimately making a bunch of money, obviously regardless of whatever service that you're providing. So yeah.
Method 4 is the BBB Instant Data Scraper. So this is what I used. It's super simple, but it's a lot more work. To do it, we use a scraper called Instant Data Miner. We import those leads into ClearOut and that will basically remove landline numbers and duplicates, and then we download that CSV into a random sheet to reformat it and then import it into our master lead sheet, like similar to before. So to set this up, it's super simple. We just need to download Instant Data Scraper, which is this link right here. And we add it to Chrome. Then go to bbb.org and open up the extension. And first you want to check on some you want to search your niche, etc. and open it up. Now just keep in mind that every time you open it, when you click off like this, it'll open up like multiple versions of it. So like this is the third one. So just be careful with that. And change your minimum scroll delay to 3 seconds and then turn on infinite scroll as well. Okay, so just go ahead and press start crawling. And what that's going to do is going to go just automatically scroll down for you and basically take all the leads. But you do, however, need to press next every few seconds. Super simple. And once you do that for a while, you'll collect a bunch of leads. The rows is the amount of leads you collected. But not only that, because the nature of BBB, you can only see 15 pages and only can see these certain amount on each page. So what you want to do to increase that is you can change some things. So I recommend changing the sort by to rating as well as show and not show. And this right here will give you 4 different searches. So, and like I said in the beginning of this video, remember ClearOut does take out duplicates as well. So that should be okay. And also GoHighLevel does as well. But go ahead and go through and scrape all those leads. Once you're done scraping, simply just download a CSV right here. Append it to a random Google Sheet. So go ahead and, sheet.new. I like doing that because you just get a brand new sheet. In the new Google Sheet, all we want to do is press import, upload the CSV file that we just imported, and go ahead and append it. Just like so. And you'll get all this great information. And what you want to do is append it to a random Google Sheet. Okay, what we just did. Remove the columns that are pretty much useless and the rows, like all these random locations, just like that. I don't even need a location. And just label this phone numbers. Okay, the reason why I want to do that is so ClearOut can tell. But yeah, so now that you have a spreadsheet right here with the phone numbers labeled, we want to go ahead and download this as another CSV. I recommend clearing out all these CSVs from your downloads every week. It just helps clear things up. And go into ClearOut and add a bulk list. So once you add the list that you just did, go to My Lists and then go ahead and run your diagnosis. Once you do that, you can just download the result and append with the custom value, the custom ClearOut numbers, and basically just download that result. So once that's done, I recommend just keeping this same sheet, to be honest. Just do exactly like what we did before with the new CSV. So go to File, Import, and then type in, add the ClearOut appended results, and go ahead and append it as well. And now we have a ton of information. Okay, so now what you want to do is sort this column right here by A to Z. Okay, so what that's going to do is take all the fixed lines and you can delete them as rows. You take them all, delete them. Okay, so now we have just a bunch of information, and all we need to do now that we have good numbers is just go ahead and remove all this extra information, and now here are the leads that we have. So we can take these leads, go into the master sheet, paste them, and that is how to get leads. You can do this on a pretty bulk scale every few thousand, but it does cost credits. I recommend just buying them through Fiverr, way easier. But yeah, that is pretty much this process. So with all of the BBB processes specifically, we can do the owner name technique. Now, owner names aren't necessary when doing outbound, but they can help, but it just takes extra computing processing. It takes more time. But to set it up, all we need to do is download Mergaw. Once you download Mergaw, it should look something like this. Just add keybinds here for the start and stop recording, and then the start and stop playback. So I'm going to go ahead and do like minus and plus, or I guess minus and equals. And then this is going to be the number of times it does the automation. So let's say you want to get the owner names of like 300 leads. Just do like 300. So now to do this process, once we have that set up, open the master lead list and as well as BBB. And what you want to do is enable F11 or full screen, and then also open up BBB zoomed in 400%. So just like that, 400%. And then here I recommend 125%, as well as here that. And what you want to do now is simply full screen this completely. So a simple way to enter full screen on Mac is just Command Control F. And now once you do that, here's what you want to do. Okay, so you want to start a recording. So to start a recording, all you have to do, real quick before I do this, let me just refresh on the process. Select the box where to paste the name, open up the BBB.link, open up the BBB link, Command F, business management, and zoomed in, copy the name. Yep, okay. So super simple. We want to make a new recording. This is going to be repeated like 300 times. Okay, so what you want to do is simply just go ahead and press the start recording button. And this is how it looks.
Recording started.
We go ahead and search up the link. Command V or Command F. Business management. Command C. Command W. Command Shift V. Arrow key down one. Go here and then stop.
Recording stopped.
Now if we press play,
Playback started.
it will just scrape owner names for eternity for us, which is super nice. So you can go golfing, you could sleep. I used to do this while sleeping or golfing, or at school even. And so it'll just scrape owner names for you for pretty much ever. You'll get the occasional address here and there, so just keep that in mind because sometimes the owner name isn't listed. But if you want to use owner names in your automations and your GoHighLevel imports and your contacts, you can do this. Just know that it might take some time. So yeah, that is the owner name method to finish up the BBB Instant Data Scraper method. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will speak to you guys soon. Also, side note for this method, you can download on Mergaw. Once you're done recording, before you go to the playback, you can actually just go to menu and save your recording. And then every time you need to load it, you can just reload it and press the same button. That's what I would do. But for that to happen, you have to make sure the sheet is formatted the exact same way. So I mean the exact same zoom, exact same Chrome zoom, full screen exactly. You get what I'm saying. Okay, peace. Method number 3, the BBB code scraper. All right, so the BBB code scraper is a really, really cool method. I'm hoping it's still in the program and you guys can use it, but it stops working pretty frequently. But to do this, all we have to do is download this file, download this program, and then this program right here. Okay, you want to open both of these two files right here and install both of them. And go to the file that you just downloaded, and it should be a zipped file. Open it up and then unzip it. Okay, that'll unzip it into a folder called BBB pretty much. So go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code, which is pretty much this right here. And we want to go ahead and import the folder that we just unzipped. Okay, so it's super, super simple. You just drag and drop the folder, the unzipped folder, just drag and drop it in here. Okay? So once you go ahead and open the file into VS Code, remember it's the whole folder, not just leadprinter.js. Open that file itself right here by clicking on it, and then select your niche. Okay, so right here is where you're gonna put in your niche. So let's say you want to do like fence contractors, just doing something random, just like so. Then all you need to do is go ahead and open the terminal by clicking this up here. Type in here npmi and let that do its thing. Once that's done, just select npm start. Okay, npm start. So now it's going to start scraping. And what's great about this is it kind of just scrapes everywhere, everywhere on BBB, which is super handy. But there's a lot of reasons why this might not work, like these here. So basically, to find your leads, all you have to do is go to the file, go to Finder, and then go to the BBB folder that you unzipped, and then open up that folder. The leads aren't going to show up here. So the leads will actually show up in the leads folder. So go ahead and open up the Finder, and then open up BBB, and then open up leads, and you should see folders. Now, it will say the number of leads in each one, and if it says 0 leads, which it does for a lot of people usually, just enable the VPN, and if that doesn't work, then reset your laptop, enable your VPN, and do it again. But just make sure if this doesn't work, you go through these common issues and make sure that they're all good. But that is that method.
So that's everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you found value. This is a shorter one, but like a little valuable nugget right here of especially the 10-hour course that's in the description of this video. But yeah, once again, that 10-hour video is in the description, so make sure to check that out. If you found this video valuable in any way, you'll definitely find that one valuable. If you don't find it valuable, you can email my email and ask for a refund for the free video that you get. So I don't understand people, but anyways, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.